Okay, I think we're live, so we're gonna hop right in. Thank you for those of you who are joining me. For those of you who are new, welcome. Hi, I'm Alex. I talk about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, personal finance and investing, and business and entrepreneurship. So if any of those things interest you, do consider subscribing to my channel. So for this video, I just wanted to take a minute to talk about what the next big thing in cryptocurrency could be. Wow, that's bright. So the next big thing, quite possibly, in my opinion, could be NFTs. Um, they've been pretty popular for a little while. I personally have had them on my radar since November of 2020, but only recently have they really been gaining traction and popularity in various media outlets and forms. You may be familiar with NFTs because you've heard about them on the news or because you've heard some social media influencers talking about them or using them. Particularly Gary Vee and Logan Paul are both pretty big proponents of it. Gary Vee because of the concepts and the principles behind it. Logan Paul because he's made a lot of money. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. The thing with an NFT, for those of you who don't know, is it is a non-fungible token, and fungible in this situation means the ability to be replicated and copied. So an NFT allows you to create something that is a limited supply digital item, and this is verified by the blockchain. Now, what are examples of this in real life, you might be asking? Something like the Mona Lisa or limited edition trading cards are two very good examples of non-fungible tokens. An example of a fungible token or something that is fungible is like cash. If you have $1 in your wallet and I have $1 in my wallet and we wanted to maybe exchange those dollars, we could, and there would be nothing wrong with that. There would be nothing stopping us because for all intents and purposes those dollars are the same value. But if you have a limited edition baseball trading card and I have a limited edition Pokemon trading card, then those are not two things you could exchange, and that is a non-fungible token. So similarly, if you had the Mona Lisa and I went into a museum wherever you were displaying it and I used my camera to take a picture of the Mona Lisa and I printed it out in the actual size of the Mona Lisa and I put it on a frame and I had it on like a picture frame, and then I was like, here, I've got the Mona Lisa. That is a non-fungible. The Mona Lisa itself is non-fungible in the sense that my copy of the Mona Lisa is not the same as your actual the Mona Lisa. And similar to our currency example, you can't just print another the Mona Lisa. And so that, in essence, is what a non-fungible token is. And in terms of digital products, you can kind of think of this, and why they have value, you can kind of think of this as like a blue check mark. On many social media platforms, there's that verification check. Another thing you can think of is a really good example actually is a website. So it's a URL is a non-fungible token. For instance, Amazon.com. So while something like my favorite kittens are pink.com might not be that valuable of a URL, Amazon.com is a much more valuable URL, and it is a non-fungible token because there can only ever be one Amazon.com. So I hope that helped kind of clarify what non-fungible tokens are, and from here on I'll probably be referring to them as NFTs because that is just what everyone calls them, and now you know what an NFT is when you hear someone using that acronym. So the first thing I want to talk about, or the next thing I want to talk about, is the volume, NFT volume. I haven't been reporting on this in my daily Bitcoin and cryptocurrency updates as much over the past couple of months because people just weren't super interested. Because it's trending a lot, it is now much more interesting to people, so I'm starting to report on it more. And that's if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, if they let me post from TikTok, or when, because sometimes they don't. But I just wanted to comment, it's really interesting to see NFT 24-hour volume is 3,400,000. This is huge because 3 or 4 months ago, if you go back in my Bitcoin and cryptocurrency update videos, you'll find this, that when I was reporting on this here, and they don't have the information going back other than on the videos I had, it was like 100,000 was a big day, 200,000 was a huge day, and right now we're already up to $3.4 million of volume through NFT trades and exchanges, which is just showing you how quickly this area is expanding. So as you can see, NFT volume has been going up a bit over the past couple days, and we've been over just under $500,000 on the 24th, and then pretty much over $1 million every other day except for the last day of February. So pretty huge increases in NFTs, and CryptoPunks way up here at the top. One of the more popular ones, Axiom, was really popular back before this whole thing exploded. Axie's a video game. So video games are another great example of NFTs and of people in the NFT space, the kinds of people that would be in the NFT space. In this particular example, Axie is a video game, and so gamers are really big, could be a really big market for NFTs in the future, just because you can have limited supply digital items already, and now you can have tradable limited supply digital items. For those of you unfamiliar, again, that's something like a URL or a verification checkmark next to your social media name. But with video games, it's something like a skin or a rare item. And for those of you unfamiliar, a skin in a video game is basically a costume that you can dress your character up how they normally wouldn't look, and a limited supply item or rare item is something like a gun in Call of Duty. And then the one over here, CryptoKitties, is another big one. That one was popular, I believe, 2 years ago. 2018 was when it was peaking out. And they're basically blockchain-based Neopets, if you're familiar with that old gaming system. CryptoKitties is just, you find them, you can buy them, and you can breed them, and then they make more kitties. And they're just cool little animations. And I think we can actually click on this link and go through to see. It's not working for me right now. That's okay. So that is that, or that is what I wanted to talk about on that part. So how can you get involved in this new space? If it's really going to be the next big thing, you definitely want to be on the boat. So how can we get involved with this? Well, there's two main ways. The first is you can actually buy, sell, and create your own NFTs. Whenever I first started reporting on this back in November, December timeframe, the most popular platform was Rarible. I don't believe it even registers on here anymore. Yeah, so its volume has gone way down. Rarible was that one I was talking about that was usually getting like 100,000, $50,000 to $100,000 in volume per day. But now they're just not loading for me, probably because my shields are up. So we're going to lower shields. So Rarible is an NFT marketplace where you can go on and mint, sell, buy, display your NFTs. They're not as popular anymore because they don't have a very good verification system. So one of the core issues they were running into early on is that someone like a famous creator would make their own NFT that's like my favorite outfit, and when you went to try to buy one, or from someone who is reselling it, because usually when you make an NFT there's limited supply, like there's only 100 of these outfits, and when you try to resell it, a lot of people were going onto this website and making fake my outfits and then selling them for a profit. So you want to be careful about that, and so Rarible wasn't, and that's part of the reason people don't use it as much anymore. With OpenSea, it is a newer, much more popular one. It's probably the #1 NFT marketplace right now, and they do have a verification process. The problem here is that the verification takes a while and they are pretty strict. So not just anyone can come on and create an NFT. So if you are going to be looking to buy some, do make sure that you follow through and see who originally created that NFT and whether or not is the creator you want. Creators are usually very open about their public address because you can send them cryptocurrency if you want, and that way you will know that they are the proper address of the person that created the NFT that you want to buy. So that's the first way you can really kind of get involved in NFTs. The second way, and this way is more my favorite, is actually investing in an NFT index. And these were not very common. In fact, they didn't really exist at all back in November. But now there's actually quite a few. One I've been watching for several months now is NFTX. And NFTX is basically a conglomerate of people who know what NFTs are worth. So if you're like me and you're kind of new to the space of NFTs, you might not know what a certain NFT is worth. So some CryptoKitties are worth tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some aren't worth anything. And so if you buy the wrong one, basically, you won't make much of a return. Think again about the URLs. If you own Amazon.com, that is huge. You're probably getting 100,000 clicks on your website per second, no work at all because it's such a big brand name. But if you own, I'm forgetting what our example was, but something like cactuses aren't supposed to be orange.com, then that's not going to be very valuable at all. So what NFTX is it is a system where people who know about NFTs and what NFTs are valued can buy an NFT, donate it to the NFTX Index, and then once it's part of the index, they will receive, once it's approved by the community, which is a whole bunch of other people who also know what NFT should be valued. Once it's approved by the community, they will receive back these NFTX tokens. And so owning NFTX tokens is like owning a part of the pool of NFTs that are being purchased. So I first found out about this from another creator, really smart guy, Virtual Bacon, if you're all familiar with him. And he reported on this before it was even listed, back in January, December timeframe. And I got in around $20. I don't even know. Yeah, probably it was beginning of January. What is that? January 7th. So it's definitely been a very lucrative trade. I wish I had more money to put in at the time, but it looks like it's sort of slowed down, and we have been in a consolidation phase recently with the cryptocurrency markets, mostly because Bitcoin had that recent correction. So this is definitely something you can look at if you want to be more exposed to a broader index of NFTs and you don't want to be bogged down with trying to buy a specific one that will go up a lot in price. That being said, if you are able and willing and you have the time to look at NFTs, it could be a very lucrative trade, because if, for instance, you find that Amazon.com example, and you could sell that, imagine what you could sell Amazon.com for right now, when all you would have to pay is like $20 for the processing and handling fees to a URL, website host name. So this is a really good way to get involved with NFTs. And another really neat trick, because before there were not very many NFT indexes, and people are starting to see that they're becoming such a big industry, you can actually go to CoinGecko, and then go to NFTX. I believe it's number ranked 223 right now with a $120 million market cap. And if you think that market cap is too high, again, whenever you're looking at cryptocurrencies, I've talked about this before, but I just want to reiterate, you should not look at the individual price of a cryptocurrency, because in most cases, cryptocurrencies individual tokens can be divided in infinitely small amount of times. And you want to look instead at max supply, which is something that can never go higher, and then circulating supply versus max supply. So here, most of the NFTX tokens have been issued, And then you also want to look at the market cap, which is the total value of the cryptocurrency right now, and the fully diluted value. So we're pretty close. Fully diluted is pretty close to the active market cap of NFTX right now. So it's not like the creators could really dump much more on the system. But again, so whenever you want to find something that is similar to a project you like, you can actually go to the tags section here and then select what the tag is that is similar to what you want. So in this case, we like NFTX because NFTX is an index for NFTs. So we can look at non-fungible tokens index to see more tokens that are tagged with NFT. And so you can go here, you can look around and see the kind of projects they have and what kind of project you might want to invest in. One big one here that was pretty popular before is Whale. Back in November when I was first getting involved with NFTs, Whale was actually the only index that actually indexed NFTs. The problem was they were trading at like a 9x premium. So they had like 10% of their portfolio was NFTs, and assuming the NFT volume was fair, it was overpriced by 9 times. So I don't know if they've changed since then, but that was a really popular one, and could be a bigger player just because it's been around longer than almost everyone else. As an index for NFTs. There's other things like Axie Infinity, Bondly, Rarible, that are individual projects that engage with NFTs, so they don't necessarily mirror an NFT. This is sort of like the difference between an ETF or exchange traded fund when you're investing, which is a basket of stocks, and a stock that works in finance. So Bondly or Rarible would both be examples of something that works in finance. Axie Infinity is another one, and Engine Coin is another one. So you can take a look at this and kind of get an idea of these NFTs. There's one other project I want to bring your attention to that could be really big, that hasn't really done much recently. And like if I was a bigger creator, if I had a lot of viewers, I would worry about telling you about this because its market cap is like $3 million, so it's not very high. But since I don't have very many viewers, it's not like whatever I say can move the market. So Soda Finance was a recent IDO from TrustSwap, which is a group that is sort of like a crowdfunding investment banking group in the DeFi space. So typically when a project is going to list, they want to get involved with one of these groups because they will get publicity and they will get support, like venture capital support, to list their project and to develop their project. So Soda Finance is pretty cool because TrustSwap is one of the ones that is one of the more democratized of these VC platforms for investing, and Soda in particular is actually an NFT project that is running on the Binance Smart Chain. So it is currently the only platform that runs on Binance, and it is planning to develop cross-chain. So that's a really interesting project you might want to keep your eye out on. But keep in mind, any investment carries with it risk. While this one is much lower, the risk is a lot higher because it would not take much money for this to go to zero. So do keep that in mind. Only ever invest what you're willing and able to lose. But this is a project I'm kind of watching closely. And then NFTX is still one of my big winners. So that's pretty much all I have to report to you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do leave them in the comment section of this video when you see it posted, and I will try to get back to those as soon as I can. That's basically it. So thank you all. If you found some value from this, if you got any use or you learned anything, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this, it would really help out my channel and be much appreciated. So thank you so much, take care, and I will see you all next time.